Hello and welcome back to Just Another Tier List, where we cover a large variety of topics and subjects and rank them on a tier list. Today we're going to be looking at the trendy low-sugar candy brand Joyride. I'm trying to build up engagement so my RPM can be higher, so I'm creating a self-imposed challenge to have more subscribers than a rival who doesn't even know I exist. So subscribe to the channel so I can overpass my arch nemesis. Really? Pennies? That's the opening bit? Like, it's kind of annoying, but it's not really the most interesting of an intro. Candy is possibly the most beloved treat in the entire world. Everyone loves, or at least has fond memories of candy being synonymous with childhood and a much simpler time. Most people have a personal favorite candy brand, which makes sense. It's such a defining characteristic for some people, having a candy that best suits one's taste buds.
You are like the round candies with the S's on it or the M's on it. There's no room for share sizes here, buddy boy.
I don't think there's a category of treat that is as universally consumed as candy is. It is one of, or even the most beloved type of food in the entire world. It's a shame that it's pretty bad for your health. Yeah, candy is not that good for you. Now that's kind of a given. It's candy. Possibly the closest thing to pure sugar. It doesn't have any physical health benefits that healthier sources of sugar have, like fiber and fruit. And besides some psychological benefits, it's basically just empty calories. But even more recently, candy has just become more artificial. With the advent of food manufacturing, candy's become more like a science experiment rather than something that's made from a recipe. Especially in the last couple of decades, candy's become far less, oh, what a sweet and delightful treat, to more like, dude, I don't even think that's edible. Candy has become a cesspool for the most unhealthy ingredients, like high fructose corn syrup, food dyes like Red 40, and the most random combination of words you can imagine. My favorite ingredient is titanium dioxide. All of this in an attempt to make the cheapest and most addicting candy, which has been a heavy cause towards the obesity epidemic in the North and South Americas. And even the candy made with real cane sugar, there's just so much in it, possibly taking up your daily intake in a single bag. This might be a little off topic, but a while back, I ate an entire box of Fruit Roll-Ups variety pack sitting down. When I ate the whole box, I immediately stood up and all the sugar just hit at once, man. Holy crap, it was an experience. I literally felt my eyes dilate, and my vision became way fuzzier, and it was also a little hard to walk for a little bit. I thought I was under the influence or something. So I can relate to the demand of wanting a candy that won't cause 2-type diabetes, but how can we find a candy that isn't terrible for your health, but still tastes delicious? I think we gotta keep looking. Joyride is a Texas-based candy brand that was founded by Tyler Merrick. It was started in 2008, originally known as Project 7, with a completely different marketing design, but in 2022 they revamped their entire image into Joyride, featuring a more bold color scheme and a different marketing strategy. They were part of the healthy alternative movement that became prominent in the 2010s, which is still going on today, with companies trying to make healthier options to popular products that are notoriously not great for your health, to, mixed results. Now, Joyride isn't the only or even the first company to do something like this. I think I've had some sugar-free gummy bears in the past when I was much younger, but they were forgettable to a point that I don't even remember the brand, and I wouldn't really blame my younger self for forgetting, because in the past couple years, the healthy candy market has become much more saturated, with even some of the major candy brands making sugar-free options of their own candy. So Joyride for quite a while wasn't really able to stand out from its competition. That was until 2024, when they did something unthinkable. Something that no respectable company would ever try to do before, but was able to make Joyride to be able to stand out from the rest of the healthy options out there. They became YouTuber merch. Ryan Trahan is a YouTuber mostly known for his travel and challenge videos. As I'm recording this right now, he's not only one of the most popular YouTubers, but also one of the most beloved, known for his authentic and his purposely simple style. I used to be quite invested in his videos a while back, but I'm more a fan of his second and third channels, which have a way more laid back feel to them. But his main channel videos do cross into that popular side of YouTube, which I'm not really a big fan of, but he is able to make some videos that do have some amount of soul in them. And I would say he is definitely one of the better, bigger YouTubers, and definitely better than the onslaught of other channels his size and genre. In February of 2024, Ryan made a video titled My Last Video, produced by the channel Sticks, which was actually an announcement that he was going to launch a new sour strip candy with Joyride, which he had become the co-owner and chief creative for the company. Now, I've mentioned in my 50K Q&A that I probably wouldn't talk about YouTuber merch that much, and that's still true-ish, kind of. Most merch is just a way to help financially support a channel, being a fun way to show off your love for a creator with inner jokes and references, with it also being another way to express a creator's creative output or even help raise funds for charity. But there are sponsors that do cross collaborations with creators, which I will be talking about, and there are some creator started companies that I think are interesting to a point that I want to talk about them on a spin-off series I'm developing, but it's not something I'm going to be doing in general.
Elmo, you magnificent bastard, I read your book!
But Joyride is such an interesting exception. This was a company that started way before Ryan Trahan was even making videos, but has now been declared his own candy brand. It's a very unique situation to say the least. Ryan has mentioned on his second channel that the original flavors will be slowly be replaced. However, as I'm recording this, most of the original flavors are still available to purchase, with even the original gum being packaged in with Amazon bundles of the blue raspberry Trahan pick. Admittedly though, some of the original flavors are becoming much harder to find, but I was able to get 10 of the original flavors with the 8 Trahan picks. Howdy! This bit's gonna be really rude, isn't it? There's been about 18 Joyride flavors that have been available since the relaunch in 2022. Today, I'm going to be ranking all those flavors to see which one tastes the best, and if any of them can taste better than the artificial junk on the market. I'm going to be splitting this video into 2 parts. The first part looking at the original lineup, then looking at the Ryan Trahan picks to see if they got any better, or was it just a lame way to capitalize on a popular YouTuber. Oh, this is so mean, man. Why am I complaining? I sound like a chicken smoking on saliva. Smoking the saliva! An aspect I share with Ryan is camera anxiety and like that shyness. So I think I can definitely relate with this. Like the little like I can understand that, of course. So these are the original 10 flavors. I can't confirm or deny that this is every flavor they made before Ryan Trahan joined, but these are the ones I could at least find. Let's start out with the fruity gummy bears. This is really interesting. They definitely feel like gummy bears. They feel very similar to the Habro ones, the one with the golden bear on it. Okay, those were my sound effects, but a majority of the original flavors are really hard to chew on. Most of these flavors don't have any sugar in them, leading them to be quite stiff, which makes sense, but it leads to the candy being quite bland. Feels like you're eating a vitamin gummy, and not a really good one. Like, I mean a really cheap and generic one. Most of the sour candies were not that good. The candy part is missing any distinguishing flavor, but the sour topping was sour in a wrong type of way. It's either barely present or leads to a really dreadful bitterness, with the sour gummy worms being completely unpleasant. Most are a low D tier, but the sour gummy worms in particular are an E tier. Joyride also has a candy trying to recreate Swedish Fish called Berry Gummy Guppies, which even though has a really cute name, the flavor fades away after only a few seconds, with a really chalky aftertaste. I would say a low C tier, It's not bad to a point where I put in D tier, and the minuscule flavor that is there is actually pretty alright, but it feels like you're just consuming something and not actually eating candy. But the red licorice twists were actually pretty good. It actually has a really good sweetness level for not having sugar in it, and I will say it definitely tastes like red licorice. I think I would say a C tier. I think it is a little more fruit gummy than candy, which to some people may like. Definitely a C tier. This is actually one of the better flavors. And honestly, even though I do think they were a little stiff, I thought the fruity gummy bears were also really good too. It's a little stiffer than usual gummy bears, but flavor-wise, this is actually pretty on par. I'm actually a little shocked by this. This one's actually pretty decent. I would say a low B tier. This one's actually a pretty good recreation. Now, all the previous flavors don't have any sugar in them, but these two are the exception, being the fruity golly lollipops and the sour gummy worms, which I already thought was a flavor. That reminds me of Jelly Babies a lot. It was like the powder of Jelly Babies. There's a light flavor towards the back of the end, and it was like the powder is nice, but it's not the most unique thing. They're fine. They're not unique or anything, but like, I think the powder and the aftertaste makes it slightly better. I would say a C tier, but like, it's a little bland still. Makes sense that there's sugar in it. Now, the lollipops actually have the most sugar per serving out of the original lineup, having 1 gram of sugar per pop. The rainbow ice and the watermelon flavors were really sour, and I would probably put them into D tier, but I really like the raspberry and the fruit wizard flavors, and I would probably put those in B tier, so I'll average it out to a C tier. Definitely a mixed bag. And lastly, for the original lineup, instead of candy, we have the super fresh spearmint and the glacier peppermint gum, and both of them are definitely gum. They both taste like any other vegan sugar-free gum. It is made of stevia, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's barely present, probably because it has a really strong mint flavor, and it doesn't have any aspartame, even though it looks like it does on the packaging. It kind of looks like it says sugar-free and aspartame. They're both a low B tier, with the spearmint being the better one out of the two options. They work as gum should be, but it doesn't really stand out as something that Joyride made, and I'm going to dock some points off for not being able to blow bubbles with it, but still a pretty good gum. Now, that was all the original Joyride flavors, and even though there were some good flavors, I could see why they want to replace them with the main attraction of this video, the Ryan Trahan picks, which is made up of 8 different candies. You can tell it's his flavors because it features his face right on the corner of the packaging, which for me is a little odd. I don't know if the right word is off-putting or egotistical, but it's a little weird having his face right on the bag, and my mom wanted me to add that he looks like a young Sandra Bernhard. I do know this is a very common marketing tactic, and it is tame when compared to some other examples, but for me at least, it's a little weird seeing someone's face plastered on a product they made, or at least support.
Oh, I can't wait to enjoy some classic literature!
The biggest difference from the original lineup is the amount of real sugar in it. Most of the original lineup is only made of allulose, which is a sweetener we've covered on the channel before, with only 2 products featuring tiny amounts of real sugar. But the Trahan flavors are all featuring real sugar, as well as allulose, with having about 4 grams of real sugar per serving, with servings being about 1/3 of the bag, meaning that a bag has about 12 grams of sugar in it, with the candies with higher sugar counts, like the sour strawberry ropes, having 6 grams per serving, being about 18 grams of sugar per bag. Now, I wouldn't really say this is scummy. Right on the back of the bag, it clearly states it's per serving, so it's not really a shocking revelation. And even the amount of sugar per bag is still way better than a majority of candy brands. But I do wish it did say per serving on the front of the packaging, like with the sour gummy worms. I could see someone who's in a hurry might be misled into thinking it has much less sugar than it really does. It is really weird having his face right on the packaging. It feels like I'm gonna hurt him.
Hey, get your deformed looking thumb off. Ah!
It's a little bland. There's a little flavor towards the back of your throat a little bit, but it's a little bland throughout. Like, there's a little bit of licorice, but it's not enough to be there. Actually, I'm gonna try it out with the zero sugar version. That's the original. This one's better. Surprisingly, this one's a lot better in my opinion. The Trahan pick looks a lot more like licorice, but this one tastes and smells more like licorice. I was actually a little surprised how much I like this one a lot more. This one's not bad, but it's just kind of bland.
I probably changed my ranking of the original licorice up to a low B tier, and the Ryan pick in a C tier. The texture is more accurate, and there is somewhat of a good flavor here, but it's too hidden to actually enjoy. This might be a little bit of a nitpick, but on the cherry ropes, the image they use for the candy is really low res. It might be hard to show on camera, but there's like some black pixel sorts of sides and like a little white line that like doesn't look cut out, and it makes the drop shadow a lot more noticeable. I think I only noticed that because I'm used to using PNGs, so I know how to like drag it in and out. So seeing that, it's a little unprofessional, I guess. But this is Joyride's version of Sweet Tart Ropes, so I'm a little excited to try this one out. I'm actually going to use scissors to open it.
No, wait, please don't! I beg of you! I have a family! Ah! I can't see anything anymore!
All right, they're definitely connected very well. Oh, never mind. Let's try this. Definitely sticks to your mouth. The center is very, very similar to Sweet Tart Ropes, which is great, but the outside is very much like a fruit gummy again. This one's actually pretty decent, even though it's a little sticky. I would say low B, high C tier. It's pretty good actually, but I don't think it's amazing. Like the highest C tier, like it's good. This is a very solid option, but it is good. But it is very much like, there's like a little, there is a tartness to it, I will admit. It's not as sweet as Sweet Tart Ropes, which oh wait, oh, I guess that makes sense.
They also have a different variant of the ropes with the sour strawberry flavor, which adds a crunchy sour topping to the candy.
It kind of got a little messed up in packaging. It's all just one piece now, and it kind of just looks crumbled up. I better just put it out its misery.
No! I want to live! I want to live! The pain is immeasurable! Oh, God!
I think it f***ed up a little bit. And it's just one really big piece stuck in there. Look at this baby. That's really good actually. That's way better than the cherry ropes. I think the sourness adds some texture to it, which is a little missing from this one. Still a little sticky though. I guess it makes sense because of all this, but yeah, this is a lot better than the other one.
Yeah, this one was actually great. The sour sugar topping adds some much needed depth to the candy, which gives it a really great experience while eating it, and it's the closest one to real candy. This one was a really high B tier, very close to A tier, and I would actually pick this up again. The next flavor is a recreation of Sour Patch Kids watermelon, being called sour watermelon wedges.
I can't feel my insides! Ow! Ow! Ow!
Ah, it's one piece again. Lot softer I was expecting. It's a lot more squishy than real Sour Patch Kids.
It definitely has a very similar taste to Sour Patch Kids watermelon. It's not as sour, still a little sourness to it, but it kind of fills away after a little bit. And there's kind of a powdered sugar aftertaste. It's definitely the most sweetest one out of them all. And it's also very squishy and easy to tear apart. I would say a low B tier. The sourness is a little lacking a little bit. Like, it's kind of there, but then it kind of feels away after a bit. And it's a little too sweet, but I would say a light B tier. But let's finally talk about the sour strips, coming in 4 different flavors that took over the entire internet by storm and were able to make Joyride way more recognizable. These are basically fruit leathers with sugar on top of them. I don't know what I was expecting, but not something out of a child's lunchbox.
Oh, I'm melting. Oh, what a world. What a world. Ow, 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 ow.
Oh god, the plastic's melting. Oh, I got all over. I think I melted it to a point where it's sealed, so I can't open it. Oh, wait, oh no. Oh, it hurts. Ow, ow. Oh, wait, I'm gonna need the scissors for this. Oh, I think I just cut a little bit of the actual candy. Oh, there we go. Oh, let's go. Oh, it's still one piece again. The One Piece! The One Piece is real! The whole studio smells like burnt plastic. Oh, I'm gonna... Oh. What's it called? It's like the health roll-ups, like the fruit snacks. Like it's kind of like a fruit roll-up, but it's like a fruit snack. You can get them at Trader Joe's and Target. It's kind of like you just take one of those and put some like sugar or like some dust on it. It's not bad, but it's like, it's not really a candy. It does feel like a kid just got like a fruit snack and put some like sugar on top of it. It doesn't feel like a candy. It's decent, it's pretty good. I would say like a medium to low C tier though. It just doesn't feel like a candy that much.
Please, if this has to do with the Air Up sponsorship, I'm sorry.
But I thought the green apple and the pink lemonade were slightly better. I think they do a better job with the fruity flavor mixed with the sour dust. But I do think the green apple is still like a fruit snack, and the pink lemonade tastes too much like powdered lemonade. These are probably the highest C tier. Pretty good, but same with the strawberry flavor, a little bit lacking. But the blue raspberry flavor is fine. It's not bad or anything, but it's not my favorite strip. It reminds me more of a darker licorice, but it is kind of saved by the sour topping. I would say a light C tier, but it is very close to D tier. And that's all the Joyride flavors I was able to get, and most of them were fine. There was nothing here that was astonishingly amazing, but maybe besides the zero sugar gummy worms, there wasn't anything abhorrently terrible either. Most of it was decent to pretty good, but it was more similar to vitamin gummies and fruit snacks rather than real candy. The best flavor was the sour strawberry ropes, which I guess makes sense since it has the most sugar out of all of them, but the sour topping really added some much needed texture to the ropes, and I would say it is the closest thing to becoming a real candy. I understand that Joyride is not going to be 100% like candy. They can only do that if they have artificial ingredients in them, but I do think they need to improve their texture, which I think the strawberry ropes are able to do very well. If they were going to keep any of the original Joyride candies, I think the gum, the blue raspberry and fruity flavored lollipops, and the gummy bear should stay, and I would actually switch out the Ryan Trahan licorice with the original, but the rest can be discontinued. I also want to talk about the prices of each lineup. The average price of the original candies was $3.50 for bags that hold about 1.7 ounces of candy, which with the quality of most of these candies are not really worth it. But the Ryan Trahan flavors, on average, are about 3.5 ounces of candy per bag, which costs about $5 on average, which is reasonable for being made out of healthier ingredients. But I would say if they were able to bring the cost down without changing anything to $4, I think that would be a perfect price tag. If you're someone who does not want to eat a bunch of junk, but still wants something to calm that sweet tooth, some of the Joyride flavors are not a bad alternative. But keep your expectations low. And no, it's not going to be exactly like candy. Honestly, if Joyride just said, screw it, and switched their business to fruit snacks, I actually wouldn't really mind. I love me a good Welch's, and if they did stick to candy, I would love them to see them attempt something that's less gummy. I love Mentos fruit, but I don't really eat them anymore because of the sugar content, so if they ever attempt something like that, I would love to try it. If there's an original flavor I forgot, or a new one coming out after the release of this video, I'll make sure to update the tier list, which will be available in the description below. And if there's any other YouTuber candy that you want me to cover on the series, or any other YouTuber-related food product, let me know in the comments below. But I just want to say thank you for watching, and I'll see you another time. Alright, Pink Lemonade Bag. You got any final words before you meet your maker?
Please, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make a candy that wasn't full of junk ingredients. Our blue raspberry strips aren't light blue because we don't use any artificial colors. Oh God, I don't want to die!